McLeod is the river that he loves more than anything else. It might be hard for me to go back there if, say, he wasn't around. There are three of us. I'm the oldest, and then Paul and Ben, so we're all kind of in the same age range. Paul and I are similar in the sense that we love being outdoors. We both love fishing, hiking, and backpacking. And Paul's actually pretty shy, at least initially, more so than I am. And I'm not sure if that's maybe how he's always been or just something that's a result of the things he's been through.
My parents tried to get us out anywhere we could and experience parts of the world that you can't see from a TV screen.
Around the time that Paul was 11 or 12, he had problems in school, headaches, couldn't focus, and after going to multiple doctors, they finally realized that he had a tumor in his brain, and he needed to get it out surgically, have radiation, have chemotherapy. It was something like 40 or 45% of people who get this tumor don't make it as kids. Over the next 6 to 9 months after discovering the tumor, he received all the treatment he needed and eventually was cancer-free and went into remission. And for the next decade or so, things were awesome. And Paul and my family kind of took health for granted, and Paul was enjoying his life and kind of back to what he was doing before. When Paul and I weren't fishing, we would be making plans too. Sometimes these plans would be weeks or months in advance, whether it's fishing the Trinity or going up to McLeod for the spring and summer and fall. Paul's never really described it to me in detail why the McLeod means so much to him.
It's nature in its purest form. Standing in the river, nothing else matters. The food hits the rock and it just shoots this way.
When Paul was around 23, he started having respiratory issues. He coughed so hard that he essentially ended up giving himself a flat lung. A pocket of air was putting pressure on his lung and not allowing it to inflate all the way. So he was in the ICU, on respirator, up to 100% oxygen, just trying to keep him alive. After receiving the diagnosis and hearing that he may never breathe again, something like a lung transplant was going to be needed if he had any chance at all of surviving. Paul was depressed for the longest time. Being in the hospital is hard for anyone, and I'm sure it's even harder for someone that dealt with it before. Sorry. I guess after realizing that he needed a lung transplant, that he needed kind of like a reason to live, maybe. Myself, Scott, Weston, and Kevin really made an effort to be there every day and to just bring stories of all these things up to Paul.
For them to come into my room, I just remember in that moment it meant a lot. And at that point, we told each other we were going to the McLeod River again. And it kept me pushing on.
So after the lung transplant and after a few weeks of recovery, Paul was starting to get stronger now. In May, shortly after his 25th birthday, we went out there and finally fished in the McCloud again. Seeing Paul hike over rocks, I almost forget about the hospital because there's no way that someone that, in the state that I'd seen Paul, so many times, could go out there and do this again. It's awesome.
It was a wonderful thing to see it again, because for what felt like a very long time, I didn't think that was possible. But being there in that moment, happy doesn't do it justice. I tied on this olive woolly bugger, probably the second or third cast, hooked on to, without a doubt, the biggest trout I've ever caught.
That's a good fish, dude. He's able to pull drag, right?
There's something in everyone that does not want to stop. It is in our being, to want to live. One of the ways to do that is to draw upon
cleaner?
positive experiences.
That one? It's a green zapper, easy.
I don't think so.
Yeah, come on. You don't know what the name is.
And the McCloud River and nature got me through it. Absolutely.
Little rainbow, I think.
Nice job, man. Look at that.